Hello everyone. In the last video we have seen a scenario using an if-else conditions. We are changing the delay time of an LED blink, or in other words we are changing the LED blink scenario, right? That means a delay time. Okay, so by if-else condition we were changing a LED blink delay time. Okay, we were actually increasing and decreasing. Okay, so the value we were setting by code, right? So you have to stop and you have to manually set the X value to be 1 to see one scenario. Okay, if you want to see the other scenario, you have to manually change the X value and see the increased delay, right? So let's try to create a real-time scenario where the user or you, once you uploaded the code, the user can give an input. Okay, and depending on the input, he can in real time without re-uploading the code, in the real time he can see the delay time of the blink is changing. Okay, so we are going to use one of our familiar scenario. That means we are going to use the analog input. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to take a variable resistor or preset. We have already seen, right? So a variable resistor or preset that was giving values from 0 to 1023. Okay, then by rotating it we can change the values, right? We have clearly seen that in the previous video. So what I am going to do is I am going to say, okay, if the analog input value, okay, we are going to read the analog input value from the variable resistor. It is obvious, right? So if the analog value, okay, if the analog value is less than 511, that means the half value, okay, less than 511, then we will go for a 500 millisecond delay blink of that same LED scenario. Otherwise, that means else, or in other words, greater than 511. Yes or no? Yes. We will go for 1000 millisecond. Okay, so in another word, the same scenario what we have had for x is equal to 1 now is going to be for less than 511 analog input value. The same scenario x is not equal to 1 is now going to be the else, that means greater than 511 analog value. Okay guys, so I hope you understand what I am talking about, because we were seeing a lot of videos in the analog read scenario. Okay guys, so what I will do is I am going to connect a variable resistor or preset or whatever that analog input source to a pin, right? Let's say I'm going to connect to A0 as usual. Okay, so what I will do is I will remove the X assigned value, because I'm going to take the input from the analog read value, not from the predefined value. Okay, so I will remove it and I will keep the variable as X. Okay, so since I am going to connect that variable resistor, okay, that means this one. Okay guys, you have seen this, right? We have studied about this already, right? Since I am going to connect this to A0 as usual, I am going to add that code here as pin mode A0 is input. So guys, I am just saying it in other words, I am just trying to add that analog input code inside here just to make our scenario happen. So since we have studied enough times of analog read scenario, I hope I don't need to go it very slowly. Okay, so if you don't understand that this, you have to go and watch those previous videos in the same playlist and you have to come back here. Okay, so I'm reading the pin mode value A0, and what I will do is I'm going to assign the value to X. Okay, so X I assigned here, right? As usual, I'm going to say X is equal to, so what is the keyword guys? Analog read, okay, A0. Okay, I'm sorry, it should be capital A0, right? So now the X, what are the possible values X can hold? From 0 to 1023. Okay, that's fine. Then what I will do is I will say, so from our current scenario we have to check for less than 511 or else part, that means greater than 511. Okay, so 500 millisecond should go for less than 511, right? So what I will do is here I will say if X is less than 511. Okay, so I'm simply modifying the previous code just by adding analog read scenario, guys, nothing else. Okay, so if X is less than 511, or in another word, if A0, okay, analog read is less than 511, the preset value, we keep the delay as 500. That means this LED is going to blink in 500 millisecond delay. Okay, otherwise means what are the other scenario? X is greater than or equal to 511. You understand that? So if this is true means what? X is like less than 511. So if it is false, we will go for the else condition. So in that scenario, that means the else condition scenario, or in other words, this is false scenario means what? Greater than or equal to 511. So then only this will become false. If the x value is greater than or equal to 511, then only this if condition will become false and the code will get into else condition. That means if the analog value read value is increased more than 511, then else will be working. Okay, y will be 1000 milliseconds. So then it will blink, the LEDs will blink with increased delay, higher delay. Okay guys, so I hope you understand what I am telling about. Okay, so this is a fast really blink. Since the delay is small, fast blink. Since the delay is high, this will be a slow blink. Okay, so this code is just fine. This is all I had to add. I have to remove that pre-defined value, and I have to add that whatever the piece of code that is needed for A0 input value reading. Okay, and then I assign to X as well, and I have changed the comparison values. Okay, as I said in this site here. Okay guys, so now what I have to do is, just to make sure things work fine, let's go for some serial printing also. So what I will do is, I will serial print the analog value and make sure, okay, when the LED is giving a proper output, we will see the analog values also, so that we can manually make sure this is working as expected. Okay, so that means analog value is more than 511. Okay, so it is 1000 millisecond delay. Then also we can see the serial monitor again and see analog value is less than 511. Then we are going for 500 millisecond delay. So for that sake, I am going to go for some serial printing. So I will say serial dot begin 9600. Okay, then immediately after reading the X value, we will print it. Okay, before going to the if condition. Okay, that's fine, right? So it takes zero time for one line to another line, so we don't care about having a line in between, right? So I'm serially printing in the X value. Sorry guys. Okay, so the analog read value will be immediately serial printed for our monitoring purposes, and then the if condition will be or else condition will be evaluated, and the respective code will be running. Then after this, whatever this y value is assigned, we will go for the blink with the particular y value. And when the next iteration start, again we will read the analog value and we will serial print the value, and again we will go for the if else and the code implementation, guys. Okay, so from what the code explains us, everything looks clear now, right? So all we have to do is just go for the demonstration. Okay guys, so I will go for the demonstration in the next video, but I want you to do with the real Arduino, real preset or variable resistor, real LEDs, and make sure things work fine with you guys. Okay guys, so we will see the demonstration in the upcoming video, next video. Until then, stay safe guys, take care.